At this point, we have to start paying homage to whoever invented creamy pasta because they knew what they were doing. This pasta was not just creamy, it was finger-licking good. You all know I like bell peppers, so I cut one into two and deseeded. We are also going to be using about 5 Roma tomatoes for this recipe, and we're going to divide each of them into 2. Then we'll be transferring them to our oven tray or baking pan, whatever you use for your oven. In the same pan, we're going to be adding our red bell peppers, and we'll also include about 4 cloves of garlic. We're going to drizzle about 2 tablespoons of oil on these because even though we want them to char a bit, we don't want them to be overly burnt. We're going to make sure we get the oil all over the ingredients. Once that is done, we're going to pop this into the oven and set the oven to about 450 Fahrenheit and roast for about 50 minutes. Then in about 2 liters of water, we add a teaspoon of salt and leave to boil. For this recipe, I'll be using red onions, but you can also use white or sweet onions. It's still going to come out great. I try to get all my ingredients ready before I start to boil my pasta because I wouldn't want the pasta to overcook, or I also wouldn't want to put it in a strainer and let it get cold and sticky. I love my pasta perfectly al dente. Once the tomatoes and bell pepper are ready, I'm going to transfer them into the blender, and not forgetting our garlic. We're going to pop out the garlic into the blender as well. We're going to cover and blend this until perfectly smooth. I'll be cooking this with some shrimp, so I'm going to go ahead and get that ready. Then we're going to add a 1/4 teaspoon of salt, a 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, this is optional, and a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder. We're going to fry until both sides are evenly cooked. This takes about 5 to 10 minutes. You know your shrimps are ready when they go from pink to gold color. There you go, our shrimps are ready. I'm going to take them out and we'll continue with the rest of the cooking. First, I go in with my tablespoon of butter. Once that has melted to an extent, I'm going to add my onions. I'm going to stir until the onions is fragrant. Once the onions is ready, I go in with my blended tomatoes, bell peppers, and garlic. Then in the boiling water, we add about 300 grams of pasta. We're going to let this cook for about 7 minutes. While that is cooking, we're going to go ahead and start spicing our sauce. So we're going to start spicing with 1/2 teaspoon of thyme, 1/2 teaspoon of paprika, 1/4 teaspoon of black pepper, 1/4 teaspoon of Italian seasoning, 1/4 teaspoon of salt, and 1/2 teaspoon of seasoning powder. We're going to saute this for about 7 minutes. And then we add our cream. For this recipe, I use Alfredo cream, but you can use the regular heavy cream. I also added a cup of pasta water. I let this simmer on low heat for about 2 to 3 minutes. Then I'll be adding the pasta straight from the pasta water into the sauce. Then we go in with our shrimps and combine everything together. It takes about 2 to 3 minutes for everything to be properly combined. You can add some Parmesan cheese and garnish with some parsley. And voila, our creamy pasta is ready. Hope you enjoyed watching this video. See you next time. Bye.